Franks and Beans! What's up, guys? It's your boy B! And I'm coming at you today, guys. I'm doing a Q&A, live Q&A, real estate Q&A for those that have questions about being involved in real estate. If there's something that you've been inboxing me, I get literally hundreds, and it sounds crazy to say this, but hundreds of inboxes on a daily basis. And I do my best to respond to those that I can, guys, but it doesn't always work out to where I can get to everybody, so I do my best to respond. So every now and again, I do one of these to kind of help people get the questions and the answers that they need to help them become successful, whether it's in mental aspect, mental growth, real estate growth, etc. So I want you to fire away today. I'm going to do my best to answer all of the questions that come through. Some that I can think of that people have asked. I know people come back and refer to these videos later. So if you can ask your questions below, I'm here for you to answer today. I got a good 10, 15, 20 minutes set aside to where I can kind of feed into and pour into people that were once in a position that I was in, getting started. And it's my honor to give back in this way through knowledge and wisdom, and of course becoming an open vessel and not stuffing up that pipeline and holding on to the knowledge and information. I'm able to receive more from other sources. So, guys, shoot away. If you got any questions, go ahead and pop them in here, and let's rock and roll. Once again, it's your boy B, and so excited to see all you talking on. Hey, everybody, good morning. Thank you for logging in. If you got any questions, feel free to ask. I'm ready to rock and roll. I won't necessarily wait to get on. I'll kind of start talking, and as I see questions asking here, hey, everybody, how you doing? I'll answer them as quickly as I can. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Great to see you all on here. This is super exciting. I love this Facebook thing. Can we have you back on the podcast? Of course, Andrew. Just let me know when. I think I did see your inbox, but I didn't get a chance to respond. So you can shoot me a text, Andrew. I know you got my number. Shoot me a text, and we can set that up. Was it tough getting started with Section 8? What is involved? Actually, no. I had when I got started in Section 8 many years ago, and believe it or not, you don't have to be on a special list or anything. With Section 8, you just pretty much go down to your housing authority office and let them know that you have properties available. The biggest thing is having the tenants that want to rent your property. And once you have the tenant, you get a voucher from them and fill it out, turn it back in. They schedule the inspection. It's really that simple. The government wants to give you a lot of money for Section 8. So I think a lot of people have a negative connotation. They think it's harder than what it is, but it's really that simple and easy. Just let them know you have a house available. They'll tell you what to do to post that house, but you need to be good at marketing your house to Section 8 tenants to get them to fill it up. Now, you can go to hf10kpm.com or call 901-471-3228 if you are in Memphis, Tennessee. And Diamond Burns will help you if you have a house in Memphis, Tennessee, and help you get your property rented via Section 8. Of course, that's a property management company, and you can use them. Now, you once said the reason why men fail is because of broken focus. So how do you develop supreme focus? That's a trained muscle, just like your boy been working out, you know what I mean? Just like, you work out on your body. One of the most important things that you can work out is your mind. You want to develop the muscle of your third eye. And a lot of people don't know about this or elaborate on this, but your third eye muscle is literally training your conscious mind to focus on, like what scripture says, if it be of good virtue, if it be of good thoughts, if it's be of good report, think on these things. And so you want to train your conscious mind to think on the things that are of good rapport. A lot of people focus and worry on nonsense that doesn't even exist. But when you train your mind, and so what that does is that's just a conscious, repetitious effort. And I'm going to say this real quick. It's a conscious, repetitious effort of having. Here's the thing that you got to understand, Eldridge. A negative and a positive can't occupy the same space at the same time. This is physics. Albert Einstein talked about this. So that means that all of us are human. That means that there are etheric thoughts and signals that are transmitting that could possibly feed through to get a negative thought in your brain. What you have to do is have a readily available positive thought And what I do is I tend to think about my wife smiling, my kids smiling at me, just a quick positive thought that I can turn to in my visual aspect of my brain so that they can create a different emotion and a different feeling of positivity. And then once I do that, the negative that I was focused on eases. And then what that does is that attracts other positive thoughts for you to, focus on. So you want to, if you're an infant, think about how weak that muscle is if you haven't been to the gym in many years, right? That if that muscle is very weak and you don't use it, you have to train it. And so the training comes from repetitious, doing it over and over again. And of course, build on that belief system. Build on that faith that you literally have the power, the God-given right and the God-given power to control your universe, not mine, yours, through implanting the right thoughts into your conscious mind. You have control over your conscious mind. The subconscious mind is going to do whatever you input into it. I was listening to a book the other day, The Power of the Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. And he said that he made a very interesting analogy. He said that the subconscious mind is the conscious mind and the subconscious mind is similar to having the relationship of imagine a big boat, the Titanic. Let's talk about the Titanic. The Titanic was steered and controlled by the guys down in the bottom of the boat. They can't see the outside. They're receiving the orders from the people who can see on the outside. So if you tell these people down at the bottom, you give them the instructions to steer right, they can't see. They're going to steer right. And it just so happened that they told these guys to steer right or left or whatever and right into an iceberg. Your subconscious brain will do the same exact thing for you. It does not think. It only responds to whatever you physically put into your conscious brain on a repetitious basis. So you have the ability to control your boat, your own boat. And your conscious mind are the people that's on top of the boat that have the ability to see it. Okay, so boom, we'll do. All right, so let's see. I have land. Do I hold and sell or build? It depends on your strategy. I don't buy properties for appreciation. That's just my personal strategy. I buy properties for cash flow. And so I don't buy properties based upon the hope that there's going to be a large economic development process that's going to bring me future money. I'm in the here and I'm in the right now. I'm here today. So I invest for cash flow. So land is a little bit different. I don't really dab in land unless it has a improvement on it, like a property, because I want cash flow now. So that's my strategy. But I would advise you to seek out people who do specialize in buying land and get some more famous Carmen and get some more information on that aspect of it, Miss Culver. All right. So would you buy a duplex or single family home first? When you elaborate on that question, I'm going to answer the way I can. But when you say a single family home, are you saying a house for me to live in first? Would I buy a duplex or a house for me to live in first? The first house I ever bought was an investment property. I didn't buy a house that I wanted to have a liability on. I believe in creating assets. So I bought my investment property first, created the income from the investment property, and then, of course, doing that over several times or whatever, I was able to have the cash flow from those properties to then go buy my own house. You get what I'm saying? So I believe in buying the assets first that produce the income to afford the liability, because when you have something that's going to eat away at you, you are responsible for the payment that you have to make on those bills that you create. And so I don't like being responsible for them. I like for my assets to pay for those things so that I can have the freedom to do whatever I want to do. Bryan, love your content. Thanks for being such a high spirit. Thank you, man. You inspire me daily. My question is, what do you do if your I will say this, acquisition manager signs up a house too high and you can't move it? Well, if it's too high, that means that if you contracted it too high and your buyers are responding to you, but they're telling you what you need to be at. So what you do is you go back to the sellers and you just renegotiate the price. Say, look, based upon my inspections and some of the analysis that I came back with, I'm going to need to offer you a little price. And here it is. It is what it is. The biggest thing is, I was talking about this to some individuals the other day. The biggest thing is to make offers. we're not getting emotionally attached to making offers. You're just going to make an offer on a house, and then from there, keep making offers. Don't concentrate on that one. When you become emotionally attached to offer making, and then you make wrong decisions, it's like, well, what they need or they have, just go ahead and make offers, and if he accepts it, you follow up with him. He accepts it, cool. If he doesn't, keep moving. The more offers you make, I always say, stuff your pipeline with solid offers until it pukes on you. And of course, that's a horrible version. But stuff until it spills all over you. You got me? Okay, thanks, Bryan. So, law of attraction. Yes, for someone that is new wholesaler, there's a new wholesaler that doesn't necessarily have the resources to do several marketing strategies. What 2 to 3 strategies should I focus on to get the best return on investment in your opinion? Let's see, you said Seymour, of course. So what 2 to 3 marketing strategies should I focus on to get the best return on investment in your opinion? One of the biggest things I'm going to say is your network. Build it, use it. A lot of people, you have so much money waiting on you inside of the network that you already possess. And so a lot of times we take these courses and these classes, and that's good. They're great. But you go away from your immediate money. That means that whenever I start a business, and this applies to any business, whatever you're doing, you could be doing, tax season's coming up, you could be lawn care. When you start a business, and I've learned this from network marketing, and I'm an advocate believer in network marketing. I haven't done one in many years, but I became very successful in the network marketing industry and used that money to buy real estate. But it taught me how to build a network, a strong network. And by learning how to do that in every business that I've done, I've built a network. So go first and foremost, write a list out of everybody that you know. Your mama, your aunties, your cousins, your sisters, your doctors, your hairstylists, your nail salon, and let them know what you do. Go to them and then let them know, hey, look, if you know anybody looking to sell a house, guess what? If you write a list out, 100 people on your list, and I promise you know 100 people. You write a list out, a personal list, and go to them and let 100 people know in your circle that you buy houses. Do you know anybody that has a house that they're looking to sell? I promise you, you'll get a contract today. Period, point blank. Next. Hi, Bryan. Love you, man. Love you too, Joe. I love that book. Yes, I do too. Hi, B. What's up, Heather? My favorite book. How much do you spend on marketing each month? I use a lot of free mediums, man. My cost for marketing is super low. I don't want to say close to zero. I do AdWords some months. Those months that I spend on AdWords, I'll spend anywhere between $3,000 to $6,000. But that's very rare. Most of my business comes from referrals, and every night I make out offers on the Zillow technique that I teach, as well as other driving for dollars, like in my city and yours too. You can just pretty much go around, and as I drive around the city, I see for sale by owner signs, and I call those owners, or I see vacant houses and look up those owners. So I get a lot of free leads. I'm not really a person that spends money on marketing. I like my returns to be infinite, and not necessarily return on investment. If I want a return on investment, I'm investing in a property and buying cash flow in Memphis, Tennessee. I want to learn real estate. There's tons of ways you can learn real estate. We do have an application. We do have an application that you can go to. I can put it on this post later when we're done, that you can fill out, and LJ will reach out to you to get you some questions answered about the different packages that we're putting together. And also working with James Dunwoody, great guy out of Kansas. I'm working on putting something together for the general public that we do as a team. So we'll be rolling something like that out in the future. Thank you. Let's see. Haim, thanks. That's what I was looking for. Okay. Thank you. All right. Explain why you prefer rentals versus owner financing when it comes to home purchase. It really just kind of depends on the house itself. It's not necessarily a preference. I always say this. I love milking my cows, not slaughtering my cows. So if I do an owner finance, it's a potential potential possibility that that person may actually go through with the buying process and buy that house from me. So I don't want to kill my cash cow. I want to milk that sucker. I want to milk it from my time on this earth and even pass it down to my kids. So the longer that I can rent a property out, even though the owner finance and the down payments are great, I would rather have the cash flow for the rest of my life. And that's what I'm in it for. So that's the difference to me, Dencito. Just came from Nashville. Market is booming with new construction. Yes, Matt is up there, and William, and those guys are doing awesome. Let's see here. War zones, a lot selling for $100K with 2 houses. Do you think Memphis will experience anytime soon? You think Memphis will experience anytime soon as far as like building and retailing? Possibly not. Memphis is made up of wonderful people that appreciate renting versus owning, and that's not necessarily a bad thing or a good thing. It just is what it is. And so, but the thankful thing is that Nashville is right up the street. And so, by Nashville being right up the street, Matt said this. Matt is a builder in Nashville. I advise all of you to get with him if you are looking to build or dabble in that arena. He's a great guy. I could post his name, or Matt, if you ever see this, tag your name in here. But Nashville is right up the street, so we're one of the only states in the world that has a place where you can go make money in retail and then come 2 hours down the road and make money in rentals. Only states. Now, you can go out to California and make a ton of money flipping retail, but where can you find rentals that you in that same vicinity out west where you can make 20, 30, 40, 50% return on investments on your cash on cash return for rental property? So I don't necessarily think Memphis, I'm not necessarily a person that focuses on retail in Memphis, so my opinion may be different from others. A lot of people, and let me say this, a lot of people are doing exactly what I'm sitting here telling you that's not being done. So don't take this as a end all. Bryan said it. But what I am saying is I believe like Memphis is like 70, 80% people that stay in this city that rent. And that's an awesome thing for people who think from an investment standpoint, because that means you're going to pretty much have a demand for a long time to make cash on cash returns. So I believe in that, and that's my point of view on that. Love your enthusiasm so much. You look great. Oh, thank you so much, Jonah. That makes me feel good. I'm almost down like over 100 pounds, baby. I feel great too. I feel energetic. What's the best way to find buyers for my contracts? Well, what we teach is you find the buyers first. I don't go find a house and say, oh, let me go find a buyer. Before I do any marketing for sellers, I find my buyers first. I find out what they want, where the money is, and I have different various techniques that I teach to find buyers all over the city and all over the world. And once I find the buyers and what they want, then I go find the property and then serve it to them on the platter. This is what you was looking for. Here it is. Let's make some money, baby. And of course, my fee on top so that we can make some money that way. Have you ever had to cancel contracts? Any tips for handling that hard conversation? Obviously, sellers going to be pissed. It happens, man. I mean, sometimes, I try to lock up houses that I would buy myself, and like, here's my strategy with wholesaling at this point, and I'll tell you what I did when I started, when I didn't have the funds. If I did a wholesale contract, I locked the contract up. At this point, it's a house that I would buy, and we have like 20, 30, 40 rehabs going on at one given time that we're getting ready for rentals. And my crews, if they are done with those rehabs, then the house that we have on the contract, I'll go ahead and buy, and then keep them for myself if nobody buys off of our list. But if somebody buys them off of our list, then that's good. You see what I'm saying? So that could usually take about a 30-day process. Before I started, I did my best to only, once again, buy properties or lock up contracts on properties that my buyers wanted, not properties that I thought was a good deal. So understand that you have to develop a rapport and a relationship with your buyers to see what they're looking for first, and then you won't get into that scenario as much. You get what I'm saying? You won't get properties in zip codes or areas or streets that your buyers are not really looking to get in. Love your enthusiasm. You inspire me. Okay, you said that. Other tips for using my energy budget besides Zillow. Once again, Lorena, the energy budget is based upon networking, using people that you know, etc. Your energy budget it has to be bigger than Coca-Cola, massive action, which is why I've taken the initiative to concentrate on living a better, healthy, fit lifestyle, because I take a lot of massive action. I'm an energetic guy, but being 100 pounds or so overweight, it's still a toll mentally and physically on my body. So, drinking water, eating healthy fruits and vegetables, taking that massive action that it takes requires you to be in the best physical shape of your life. And so that energy budget, I'm going to have to exert it until I can get the funds to match my energy budget. So different things from networking, etc. They say attention is the new currency. Attention is the new currency. What that means is I'm going to relentlessly post on social media because it's free. So YouTube, I'm going to always post YouTube videos. This is going to probably be on YouTube. I'm going to always post YouTube videos and letting people know around the world that you can come buy properties from your boy B. So YouTube, all of your free mediums, social media, you name it, signs out in your area. Diamond Burns, she'll probably post in here. She posted a link to a site that you can get signs for free. They'll send them to you overnight tomorrow, and you can order these signs if you have no money, and they'll send them to you tomorrow, and you can put that I'll pay them net 30. And that means that they'll send them to you, and then in 30 days you can pay them. Now, granted, you need to have that money in 30 days, but what I'm saying is there's a lot of free ways to get it done using the energy budget. So I hope that answers your question. Can you give details on your Zillow technique? Go to Zillow, scroll down to the bottom, for sale by owner, filter it, and find the people that want to sell their house and send them a text message and make an offer. I got to come to your next meeting, Bryan. My next meetings are usually online. I usually try to travel around the country and the world. So I'll do my best to try to have a local meeting. I haven't had one of those in years, and maybe that'll help some people locally as well. Call Slim on rentals. Cali Slim on rentals. Cap rate is low. Exactly. Do you have a coaching class? Yes, we do. Like I said, I'm going to put a link in here at the bottom where you can apply for the coaching class. We do private and working on group mentoring as well. But we're selective because we want to make sure that we're the right fit for the person. Because once again, the way our coaching is set up, I love working with people who have the mental aspect that I need them to have, because I have to stay sure that I protect my mindset when I'm working with somebody. So I don't want to say it, but I love working with people who have a strong mental aspect. And if you don't, there's probably a high possibility that we won't ever connect. Whether it's me responding to a phone call or whatever, your mental aspect has to be very strong. So I have a small circle, a very small circle that I'm close to, and that's for a reason. But I do a lot of videos so that I can help people get to that level of thinking, so that if you are there, I'm sure we'll connect. It's just a matter of attraction. You become a magnet to what like attracts like. So I'll put that link in here so you can apply to that. I see there's some other meeting in town and said they can't top my cousin. That's fine. Thank you so much. For your rentals, it is best to have a property management involved. I mean, here's the thing. Yes, property managers are great. It just really depends on the company who you use. There are a lot of great property management companies. I know we have one of the best, and one of the best managers that's on our team, which is Diamond Burns. But of course, that's a plug for our own company. But there's a lot of great property management companies. I would advise you to just check us out or check them out and make a decision. It just really depends on how much of a hands-off approach that you want. If you want to build something or build onto that, you can definitely do that. And it allows you the freedom to, really have a passive income. Okay. Good work, Ms. Harris. Continue to crush it. Thanks so much, Cody, man. You're a beast yourself, bro. Could you give some specific details on how you found your buyers? Putting signs out near interstate sections. That's a great one. If you get a property under contract, put a sign in the house. Our contracts let the sellers know that we're going to put a sign in front of your house, period, point blank. And you'd be surprised how many people in the neighborhoods that don't know that those houses are for sale. We just sold one the other day from a sign being a yard. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, and here's the thing. I put that sign out in the yard. I have people on our team that do certain things, but I put that sign out, meaning when you get your business to where it's a system in place, that doesn't mean that you sit back and don't have to do nothing. I love what I do. I absolutely love the real estate industry. So I go out and do all of the things that I have people do. I work behind the scenes like Jet. Jet is our amazing VA that's over our lead sourcing management and a lot of other stuff that Jet does. But I still do some of those things. LJ is over the transaction coordinating. Zach is over the buyer disposition. Bryan is over acquisition. I still do every aspect of it. We have signed people and stuff like that. Property management. I do a little bit of everything because I absolutely love this. So those are some different techniques there that you can do. How much do you spend a month on marketing? It's usually close to zero as possible. I use a lot of free mediums. I believe in keeping my costs low, but my energy budget, you got to understand, when I say I have a massive amount of energy that I put towards building a business, my wife made me smile last night when we was talking about building a business, and she said, man, she was looking at some of the things, and she told me, she said, it's like you have a Superman type of quality. Do you know how that made me feel? Like, that was really awesome. She was like, you had like a Superman type of quality that, you put into your business that is hard to duplicate. But what I'm saying is, if you do it through having a proper health, physical health, and food and water and hydrating yourself and body, and a mental aspect that's relentless on growing it, you'll definitely get there. So that made me feel good. It made me very happy to hear her say that and notice it. And I'm going to tell you, queens always acknowledge your kings because it makes them go work harder for you and give you more stuff. So killing it, waiting for you in San Francisco. We'll be there, huh? Hi, Jermaine. Cash flow sensei. That's funny. Done 250 deals. Let's see here. Okay. Hey, B, what is the top 3 things you got from 30K to 50K month to 200K months? What is the top 3 things that got you from 30K? Okay, so the top 3 things that got me from 30K to 200K plus months is one, and I always refer back to this. You're going to always, if you ask me something, it's going to always be like, well, what I first did was, it sounds redundant, but I want you to understand the importance of that. If it's not here, it will never show up in the physical world, period, point blank. It can't. It's just like it's a cause and effect. So, I think I posted a picture that I had on my screensaver from my old phone that I had, and it followed to this phone that I got, and I was looking at it, and the sucker said 200K guaranteed. And for me, I was mentally impressing that to be on a monthly basis. Now, granted, that was years ago, but it came to fruition because it's all I saw several times a day, many times a day. And when I would see that, it made me think, I'm 200K a month, baby. I'm 200K a month. And I impressed that. So one of the things that got me from that is not having anything coming in, but knowing that I can control what will come in. Your physical life has to follow your mindset, and it won't be the other way around. You won't look at life. See, what happens is, if we look at life and look at the physical effects, we're recreating those events for the future. What you have to do is go inside the kingdom of heaven, which is inside of each and every one of you, and go there and dwell there. And inside that, you go, I talked about this on the Sean Terry event, you go inside the kingdom of heaven, just as Jesus did, and prepare the place mentally. Because there's many mansions and many ideas inside the kingdom of heaven. And you can go to any one of those ideas and possibilities and create or the moment or the future inside one of those mansions. And then you come back to the physical body, and your body begins to take the steps. There's several times during the day that you can do these things. You can stop and meditate. But most importantly, when you wake up in the morning, your conscious mind is almost still asleep. Meaning your reasoning faculty, your faculty that may warrant you to worry, etc. Though the conscious mind does that. That's the one that say, man, you need to worry about this because this may happen, this may happen, this may. It reasons. The subconscious mind doesn't. So when that's resting, when your conscious mind is in its resting state, then that's the best time for you to impress on your subconscious brain what it is that you want. So when I wake up in the morning, before I really get up and going, and my conscious mind is still kind of resting, I have this vision of the moment that I want to experience. And of course that changes as you get them. Like, you're going to get it if you do this. And so I have this vision that I go to, and I prepare that place mentally. And I live in that moment, experience that moment, smile, I feel it and emotionalize it, and then I come back to the physical body. It only takes a couple minutes, and I can do that several times a day, but that's the most important time. And then before you go to sleep at night, hour before you go to sleep, you shouldn't be watching TV. Turn off the TV. Turn off all distractions. Turn off the noise, make the kids go to bed, make the husband, make the wife go to bed, and have an audio visual, these things, Franks and Beans, my headphones, play those in your ear. of you talking to yourself from the future moment that you have created for yourself. So speak from the place that you want, and that will take you to any lifestyle or any desire that you have for yourself. You got to speak from it. You got to go there mentally. Do that at night and in the morning. Your subconscious mind, you'll hear those messages playing into your mind, and as you go to sleep on them, it's planting it and embedding it into your subconscious brain, and your subconscious brain is what delivers to you anything that you want. If you do it in your conscious mind repetitively, it'll end up being in your life on a redundant basis, anything that you want. And I want you to really understand what I'm saying here. If you do that on a repetitive basis with anything that you want, you will have anything that you want in life. Period. Point blank. All right. Recommend books for manifest. Let me see if anybody else said something before. Okay. I got an appointment with my nutritionist, guys. Here shortly. What's the best way to create a cash buyers list? Go back and watch this video, Ryan. I answered that above. Some of the techniques. Recommends books for manifesting. Several ones. One I just posted on my wall earlier. Definitely hear that book over and over and over again. By Joseph Murphy. I think it's The Power of the Subconscious Mind. Of course, Think and Grow Rich is great. Master Key System by Charles F. Hundle. The Science of Getting Rich. The Science of Being Healthy. I can go on and on, guys. Anything by Neville Goddard. The Secret is good, but as you do these things, grow on them. You know, you're going to start from where you are. Do what you can where you are with what you have. Meaning, like you have a baby muscle. It's really loose and flabby. You know how you first go to the gym and you ain't been in the gym in like 30 years. That muscle, that mental third eye muscle is loose and flabby. So just imagine, you're not going to get Arnold Schwarzenegger results of the mind overnight, but build on those things. And in a year or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, you have Jedi Knight moments to where you'll be manifesting things just by thinking it, and then a person will appear in your life that'll present that to you. You'll think of a amount of money, and next thing you know, the opportunity for that money will show up. It'll just happen like that. So how do you know what to offer an FSBO seller when you find them on Zillow? There's a couple of ways that kind of look at what the market is paying for houses in those areas, Sharita. So like if you, once again, you have to reverse engineer. You got to find your buyers first. And whatever my buyers say they'll pay is what I'm going to offer. If I want to make $5 grand, 10 grand, 40 grand or whatever, I'm going to find out what my buyers will pay, and then I can make my offers to the seller. So do that first. Don't go find houses, find buyers. And then when you find buyers, I'm your buyer. Bring me all your deals, all right? And I'll get them. Find out what I want. I want Fraser, Raleigh, Whitehaven. That's pretty much it. Those areas. You send me anything in those areas, I'm going to look at them, and I'll let you know the prices based up on the streets. And I'll tell you, I'll connect you with the guy who's over our acquisition who kind of knows what we look for. Great stuff. Thank you for sharing, Mr. Harris. Thank you for listening. B, very well said on the conscious versus subconscious. Thank you so much. Who's your pastor? God. Darren Little. I learned from different people. Pastor V, Pastor Vincent, Pastor Bishop Porter, Bishop Brandon Porter. They're not necessarily my church that I go to, but I learn from various people, man. So I don't necessarily have one actual pastor that I learn from. I learn from every body that I come across. And of course, they're a vessel for information, and I do my best to go straight to the source, which is God, to get spiritual teaching, but of course use various other people that have spiritual guidance from God as well that I learned from. So if you need JV partner in Dallas, I'll definitely be reaching out to you when I go there. How many acquisition sales do you have? Just one right now. Thank you, Bryan. Thank you, guys. Any other questions real quick, guys? I think I got a few more minutes. Earth is our turf. That's correct, man. Earth is a physical plane that God gave us dominion over. He gave Adam dominion over this earth. And that means through your mind. And the faster and the sooner that you realize that you control this earth, he's giving you the ability to co-create this universe for yourself. You will be able to pretty much manifest whatever you want. And Jesus came here to be an example. He told us to do as he did. He said we're capable of doing the exact same things that he does. And sometimes and I want to talk about this real quick. You know, like I learned this as growing. I think a lot of people, you know, growing up, we learn what we're taught, and then they're taught something and they pass it on. But one of the things that stuck out to me the most is when you pray. When Jesus said, "Whatsoever you desire, when you pray, believe you have received, and you shall have." And what that means is prayer is if you even look up the definition, it's thanksgiving. Prayer is not begging. Prayer is not hoping. Prayer is not wishing. Prayer is thanks and knowing that what it is that you've created in your thought is done. And so what you're doing is you're giving thanks for what it is that you've created in your mind and knowing that it's done. So whatsoever you desire when you pray, believe. That's what Jesus is telling you. Believe it. So when you pray for something, you praying and you're giving the thanks that it is already done. So just kind of grow on that and look more into that and learn that and embed that into your belief level. You rock too, Johnny. You have a team of bird dogs, or so do you pay them per deal or per lead that they bring you? We pay them per deal. What your mailing schedule look like? I don't do mailers, bro. Gas compensation. I do. It just really kind of depends. Like, you know, we got some deals coming in and we're rocking. We'll throw out a couple dollars for gas. I mean, we're generous enough, you know. How did you discover real estate? From Robert Kiyosaki. When I was in that network marketing company, Mowbray and Denson would talk about him, and then just kind of learn it from there. And then it was like, I need to get into that. And Oprah said something about she made her money in broadcasting, but she holds on to her wealth in real estate. So that right there stood out to me, and I was like, okay, I made a little bit of money in network marketing. I want to hold on to it, and so I dipped and dabbled in the real estate. Absolutely correct. You are awesome. You're awesome, Nathan, my wrestling buddy. All right, guys. So any other questions real quick? Like I said, this is my way of giving back. I really appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in. I hope this helped. And I hope you grow. Once again, if I don't answer your messages on Facebook Messenger, you got to understand that I do try to reply to everybody that I can. For some reason, it's like I get like a lot of messages. I want you to keep inboxing me because at night, you know, I'm going through them and reading them. But if I don't respond, man, charge to my head, not my heart. Post on my wall. Let me know. Like my status or something, man, and let me know. And that way I can, when I'm scrolling through the messages, I can see and do my best to respond. You speaking at the next stream video, we need you. I don't know, man. That's up to Sean. That's my amazing mentor, Sean's event. So if he invites me there, I'm there, man. I love Sean and all he's done for me and many others. Proud of you, bro. I said in your living room back in 2002, the come up is real. Yes, it is, man. Main marketing channel, bringing most deals. Referrals, Johnny. Referrals from people that I know. How would you suggest a person getting their first wholesale deal in a major market? Once, find your buyers first, Tyrone. And then from there, make a list out of 100 to 200 people that you know. Call all of them every day for the next 5 or 10 days and let them know that you buy houses. Do you know anybody that has a house for sale they like to sell fast? And I guarantee you a contract that way. That's the fastest way you'll get a deal for free. And if you're too ashamed to call them and let them know that, then I would say your why isn't strong enough. I'm going to bug you, market to you, talk to you, call you, text you, email you until you sell me a house or let me know of somebody that does, and until you change your number. So you have the energy budget. That's about energy budget, being relentless in everything that you do. Any other questions, guys? If you ask them here in the next 30 seconds to a minute, I'll answer it. And like I said, thank you so much for tuning in and logging in. I really appreciate the feedback. And like I said, share this video with others that you think may benefit from this. And I hope it helps you grow. And like I said, I look to get knowledge and information from you guys. All right, guys, I guess that's it for now. I'm going to go ahead and press the finish button. It's been wonderful. It's been great. It's your boy B. I'll talk to you guys later.